Today I'm going to talk to you about the power and the importance of living with vision and values. As we think about living with vision and values, maybe you're like me and you'd ask the question, how does living with vision and values actually help me? That is a great question, one I intend to answer today. Proverbs 29, verse 18 says, where there's no vision, the people perish. So that shows you the importance of vision. If people don't have vision to live a financially wise lifestyle, then they can find themselves right here in America in the richest place on planet Earth, drowning in debt. If people don't have a vision to have a healthy life, then they can find themselves struggling to take care of the temple that God has entrusted them. If people don't have a vision to have a healthy, Christ-centered marriage, then the marriage could be falling apart. We need vision. Vision is very important. It's very powerful when you can learn to live with vision. So I want to answer that question. How does living with vision and values actually help me? Help you in your marriage, help you in your parenting, help you in your financial future, help you in your career development. You know, vision and values is so important because it prevents you from falling into the trap of what over why. We spend much of our life doing what that we fail to realize the power of why. Let me give you some examples. You may be a mother today, and maybe your responsibility is taking care of the chores around the house, making sure there's food on the table, a prepared meal, and doing the laundry. Maybe you work a job, or maybe you stay at home, and you find yourself overwhelmed with the endless task of taking care of the home and making sure your kids everything's right for them and they're in the right place at the right time. And you're just overwhelmed, and you got to the place where you feel like, I'm ready to give up on life. I'm ready to give up on my marriage. I'm ready, maybe even at times, to give up on my parenting. What you're feeling is your what is overpowering your why. What you're having to do is now overpowering the value and the importance of why you exist, why you're a mother, and why you have responsibilities as a mother, and why you are a wife and a spouse. And we need to understand that our why is so important. It's much more important than what we do. If we lose sight of why, it affects our what. Or you may be a college student and you're drowning in schoolwork and you're finding it harder and harder just to get the energy to pull it together for another day at class or another semester. What's happening? Your what is diminishing the why. You see, vision allows you to define your purpose, to go back to your why, to understand your reason for existence, to understand the meaning and the value of life. And then values creates a highway so that you have checkpoints along the way to stay on the right path to execute your vision, your why, the real reason for your existence. And I would say that vision is big picture. You're looking at a superior goal or objective. And values are passionate statements that help you carry out your vision. For us as a church, our vision is to change lives. Our value, as we're introducing values, value number one is Jesus is our message. That is a powerful statement that helps us carry out our vision. Our vision is to change lives. Well, we can't change them, but Jesus can. And so we've got to keep central to what we do the message of Jesus Christ, sharing with people the gospel of Jesus Christ. Vision helps us see the big picture. Values creates a highway and checkpoints to keep us on the right path. If we don't start and we don't engage people with the message of Jesus, we cannot fulfill the vision that God has for us as a body. The same would be for your life. If you don't understand your why, then the what is going to overpower the why, and you lose sight of where you're going. The next thing you know, life gets complicated and no longer makes sense, and there's no longer passion and energy from day to day because all these things are overwhelming you. The what is overpowering your why. And so what I would like to do for just a moment is to give you some examples of how to incorporate vision and values into your life. Let me start with marriage again. To have a vision statement for your marriage may go like this. My vision may be to have a healthy marriage where God is first and each other is second. To have a healthy marriage where God is first and each other is second is a good vision statement. It's broad enough, but yet specific enough. It allows you to set a superior goal. You want to have a healthy marriage, but you also want to understand the value of each other and keeping each other under the authority of Christ. Well, what are some values to keep in line with our vision to have a healthy marriage where God is first and each other is second? Value number one could be Jesus will be our number one every day. I want to keep Jesus first. Remember, we said to have a healthy marriage where God is first. So Jesus will be my number one every day. That's something that you can live by. That's a powerful statement that can guide you from day to day and inform your thoughts and carry your actions and your attitudes so that you keep vision central in your life. Value number two could be giving is better than receiving. That's a powerful statement. In marriage, there's got to be giving on each other's part. It's not 50-50, it's 100-100. Everybody contributing, everybody giving. And giving is better than receiving. So it keeps us from being self-centered and selfish in the marriage. That's a powerful statement when you live by that value. Number three could be rest empowers recharge. Taking time to rest. Making sure you're getting adequate rest. Making sure as a spouse, you're giving time for your partner to rest. Because we all need rest. We all get to our breaking points and we need to recover and recharge. That's just three. I could give you more values. But again, in marriage, I want to have a healthy marriage where God is first and each other is second. Incorporate values that give me checkpoints along the way to stay in line with the vision. Now let me go to the example that I used earlier as a student. Here's a good vision statement for a student. To give myself a better option in the business world. So I'm a student. I'm trying to educate myself and achieve a degree. But why am I doing this? Answering that question is very important. To give myself a better option in the business world could be a broad but yet overarching goal to help carry you and understand why it's important to get an education. Let me give you some values. Value number one, these are biblical, by the way. Hard work pays off. Putting in the energy, putting in the effort. Understanding the importance of daily being consistent and being diligent at your work. Hard work pays off. That's a value that you can live by. It's a powerful statement to remind you every day, to inform you and carry your attitude and your actions and your effort. I need to live by hard work today so that I can be effective in my educational experience to give me a better career option and path, hopefully and prayerfully, in the business world. Number two, a good value would be what I do today affects who I become later. What I do today affects who I become later. You know, Jesus said, be faithful in little and then I'll give you much. Many times it's in the energy and the effort that we're extending out and learning to study and accomplishing of objectives like succeeding in the classroom, succeeding in an exam, helps us learn the habits that develop character like faithfulness in the small things that you're going to need in life later on. So understanding a value, what I do today affects who I become later. Organizing yourself helps you optimize what you're able to do and have greater output in your objectives and goals. So we need to understand these values can really help be powerful statements to motivate our behavior, because we're learning in this series on DNA. Everyone ends up somewhere, but few people end up somewhere on purpose. We want you to learn how to end up somewhere on the God-given purposes and plans that God has for you. Vision and values, when you begin to incorporate these like we're talking about here today, vision and values allows the mundane or the ordinary to take on meaning or value. Your mother and the endless task of doing laundry and the overwhelming task of making sure your kids exactly where they need to be on time, and you're supposed to have everything in order, or so it seems in society today. Vision and values allows you to take those mundane, simple tasks, what you have to do, and it takes on new meaning and value because you're living by vision. You've answered your why. And so it motivates your what. It motivates and carries passion and energy. I need to do this faithfully each and every day because as a wife or as a husband in the marriage role, I understand that giving is better than receiving. So I want to give, and it sows into the heart of this relationship between the husband and the wife the value of both contributing. Just by my actions, you're being that example. I love what Craig Rochelle says. Small disciplines done consistently lead to big results over time. Small disciplines done consistently lead to big results over time. I would say that's true when it comes to vision. When you identify your why, you start executing that by helping you define how to implement your vision through your values. If you do them consistently, small disciplines over time, it will lead to huge results. You can end up somewhere on purpose rather than ending up somewhere you don't want to be. And I would also say that vision and values inform and fuel your thoughts daily toward a targeted destination. They create passion. They create energy. Man, when I think about the value we have as a church, Jesus is our message. Man, it excites me. It wells up inside of me this passion. Yeah, I want to share the name that's above every other name. Can you think about if you would adopt that mentality into your home life, into your finances? We want to live financially free so that we can be more serious about being a servant of Christ and more able to devote ourselves to doing the things that God has called us to do as a follower of Jesus Christ. It brings passion and energy in your life. So vision and values allows the why to empower the what. And when that happens, I promise you, there's something supernatural and divine when the vision that God has laid out for your life in every area of your life empowers your what. You can begin to experience the supernatural things that God wants to do in you and through you. The results you end up somewhere on purpose. You're more passionate and more effective, and most importantly, you don't lose sight of who you're called to be. That is a follower of Jesus Christ. So maybe you're thinking, where do I start? I want to get started. I want to try this in my life, and I want to incorporate vision and values. I would say try at least one area. Don't overcomplicate it. If you're not used to this, try at least one area. Maybe start with your marriage. Maybe start with your finances. Maybe start with your career. Just start with one area. And keep in mind that as you develop vision and values, there's some keys that you need to think about. Number one, vision should always answer the question of why instead of what. Vision should always answer the question of why instead of what. Why my marriage needs this, or why my finances need to change. Vision should also fix a problem that affects more than you. So your vision is larger than you. Your vision is bigger than you. Your vision that God has for your life incorporates you being a servant of Christ even to others. So vision should always fix a problem that affects more than just you. What about values? Values should define passionately how to carry out your vision. These powerful, passionate statements that push you towards a desired destination. So here's what I would say to you, and I'm praying for you in this. Try it. End up somewhere on purpose in your health. End up somewhere on purpose in your finances. End up somewhere on purpose in your marriage. End up somewhere purposefully in your career path, in your church life. Your life will be fueled by your faith and the passion that your life matters to God and to others. How does living with vision and values help me? It helps you be more purposeful with the life that God has given you.